Hey everybody, welcome back to the Honey and Absinthe channel. We are your hosts. I'm Vincent, a background designer for animation.
And I'm Janet, the ex-Disney artist turned independent creator, and in this episode, I'm going to be drawing a Haikyuu crossover with Monsta X Commission.
Whoa, nice serve!
So, before we get started, make sure to smash the like button.
Over there. Let's jump into it. Alright, what is going on here? What do you think about crossovers?
I think they're interesting.
Yeah, me too.
Especially when it's a crossover of a real human being and a cartoon character.
Yeah.
I just try to make the cartoon character a little bit more realistic and the human person a lot more cartoony.
Right.
So the backstory behind this is I think the Monsta X boy band person is really into Haikyuu.
Oh, cool.
And their fans really like that he's really into Haikyuu. And he actually bought one of the jumpsuit jacket things from one of the teams. And he did this, there's this picture of him doing this pose. And so the fan wanted me to draw a crossover with a Haikyuu character and him.
Nice. And you're doing so much construction right now.
Yeah.
Getting the body in there.
Yeah.
Oh, so muscly.
So I've been trying to make these anime characters and cartoon characters a lot more realistic. So the character from Haikyuu is not how he normally looks, where he looks very like cute and anime, like very anime, if you don't know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I tried to make him look a lot more realistic. And it's interesting too, K-pop people kind of look like anime characters to begin with.
The hair and everything.
So it wasn't too difficult to make him turn him into a little bit of an anime character. Yeah,
it actually fits really well. Nice. And this really cute expression that you have over here. How do you, I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, how do you come up with expressions like this? So bright and cheery.
I take a lot of inspiration from the character of the personality of the character. So he is typically really happy and smiley. The difficult part I had with his expression was actually he is known to be really happy, but he's not like, I'm such a happy-go-lucky guy, I'm cute. He's not that at all. He's like the main character. So I had to balance determined with happy, because if I just made him happy, he'd look too cute.
I see.
And if I made him too determined, he'd be too cool, and that's not his character at all. So I wanted to balance too the Monsta X guy's expression. I wanted him to be like really cool to balance off.
He has this smirk and his swooning looking eyes. He's like, look at my jacket.
Yeah. Nice. And I gridded out the type, the font on the back of his jacket, because there's nothing worse than when you're drawing something with fonts and type and logos and stuff for it to look jank, for lack of a better word. So you need to make sure, I took a long time actually to really make sure the font looked like what it does on the jacket.
Yeah, it's worth the time, because especially when we were rushing at cons and there were like these characters with big script on their chests or something like that, we just kind of wing it. But it never looks as good as when you plan for it.
No, it always looks like, ooh, I really should have just taken 20 minutes to draw that out.
Yeah, but I'm like, oh, it would have taken 20 minutes. So,
So with these characters, because Haikyuu is a sports anime, I tried to make them really muscular.
Ooh, look at those wrinkles, man! Dang!
And, again, I think in one of the previous Draw With Me episodes, I talked about how drawing normal clothes or costuming that isn't too interesting to look at, you really need to add as much detail as possible. So with the wrinkles in this, I really did a lot to try to make the jackets and the shirts, the jersey uniforms look interesting when you're just looking at it.
Nice, and you really got that messy PC bedhead K-pop look, you know? By just layering your brush strokes. Yeah. These little chunks of tufts of hair.
A lot of people tend to, because it looks a little bit like a bowl cut if you don't draw it properly.
Right, and it looks kind of boring.
Yeah.
But it's actually, there's a lot of, the point of it is texture.
Yeah, if you've ever gotten your hair cut like this, or you have friends who have this kind of hair, it actually looks really PC if you see it in real life. So I tried to get that look.
Yeah. Looking good. And now you're having a breezy time putting in the script for his back.
Yeah, it becomes so easy when you actually took the time to draw it out and make it look good. And I hope, because I didn't get to draw his entire name, the high school name on the back of his jacket, I hope the true fans know exactly which character I'm drawing.
And I'm sure the color will help a lot, right?
Yeah, with the red. Yeah. So here again, whenever you have dark, big masses of black or whatever, you should always try to design out the shapes instead of just filling the blacks completely in.
Right. And look at that. Look at your inking. Man.
I try to bring out the face all the time. So it's important to have something like a drop shadow underneath the chin.
Makes his head come forward a little bit.
Yeah. And same thing for the hair. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like adding the cast shadows underneath the pieces of hair.
Yeah.
It really adds more dimension. And now you're thinking about designing, all these little messy pieces of hair.
Yeah.
And taking your time with it looks like.
It's difficult because you don't want to lose all the little pieces once you go in with the dark ink.
Yeah.
So it really pays off to take the time to do that.
Right. Nice.
So now I'm going in with tone to tone the light side of the black clothes. Because if you've ever painted black masses before, there actually still is a dark side and a light side most of the time, depending on the lighting. So it's important to always think about that, even when you're painting black.
Right. Yeah. Now what are you using here? You're using acrylic ink?
Yes.
Nice.
We used to use Copic a lot more.
Yeah.
But I've actually stopped doing that lately because Copic has a tendency to smear the sumi ink if you're not fast enough. And it has a different kind of textural look to it. It's not as vibrant as acrylic ink here. So I've been using a lot of acrylic ink to make the colors really bright.
Right. Yeah. And it looks like you're getting the colors straight out of the bottle too, just to make that bright graphic statement.
Yeah. It's important to do that when you're doing spot color like this. Not so much if you're going to paint it fully from start to finish, because then if everything's like 100% saturation, it looks a little intense.
Right. And now you're diluting the ink a little bit to do the skin tone.
Yeah. This is a little bit different for me this time because normally I use watercolor for this because I like a very specific color for the skin tone, Orange Lake Deep. But
ever since art school.
Yeah. But I wanted to use all ink from now on, or until I find another material that I like.
Yeah, and it just makes it super easy to just pick one, and then you don't have to keep busting out Copics or whatever.
Yeah.
And then now you're adding these highlights over here with Deleter white ink.
Yes, our favorite ink because it is permanent and you can ink on top of it if you put too much.
And I love these little design shapes that you put in the back there.
Yeah, it helps guide the eye all across everywhere.
Really inspired by Jim Lee.
Yes. And there you have it. You can see all the little details and his eyes, his hands, his eyelashes.
Oh, it's so pretty.
He's so pretty.
Oh my gosh, dazzling. If you really like that, please hit like and subscribe over there and leave a comment down there for who you think Janet should draw next.
All the materials that I used in this video will be linked down below, and if you buy anything, it helps us out at no extra cost to you.
Yeah, and visit the website, honeyandabsinthe.com for a brand new hustle shirt. Wow, look at that, so cool.
If you want more drawing videos, check out these other drawing videos. And don't forget to
dare to dream.